Well, the Coast Development Authority is at the forefront of driving socio-economic development at the coast. It is one of the 6 regional authorities that were formed back in 1990 by the government to help drive socio-economic growth at the regional level. This week on Inside the Government, we are talking to Dr. Mohamed Keinan. He's the Managing Director of Coast Development Authority. He'll be giving us a history of what journey the CDA has covered and what is the future of Coast Development Authority. Thank you very much indeed, Dr. for joining us here. When you look at the last more than 30 years of the existence of Coast Development Authority, what would you say has been the biggest achievement of this agency?
Thank you very much. I must accept when I took over the leadership of this institution, we had a very, very enormous challenge. One such challenge was that we had a lot of stakeholders dissatisfaction with the institution. We also had a lot of demoralized staff. And finally, we had accumulated big burning bill in the level that our audit report were trying to place adverse report on the institution. This was a big task for us to turn it around, and I must say we worked as a team at CDA. We took over and institutionalized our operations as a team. Of course, teamwork always achieve. This effort made us to sufficiently restore our stakeholders' confidence. It made us restore our stakeholders' confidence, and in the process, we were able to network. This network had made us address many of the challenges that we faced. We were able to put in place a robust human resource instruments. These instruments were guidelines on policies that will make us achieve where we want to go. We were also able to put in place a very good reference career guidelines, which enabled us attract and retain the relevant skills for this institution to achieve. And finally, we were able to network with all relevant stakeholders, and we were able to now resource mobilize for the institution. Such resources are resources from both the government and the donor. And as I talked to you, we had restored sufficient donor confidence, and we are implementing more than 3 or 4 projects of donor-funded projects.
What kind of support would you say the government has been able to extend to your organization in your turnaround process?
I must say we had a very, very, very great, big support. Big support in the sense that by the time we were able to reach the government and explain to them that we are under this big difficulty, the government was able to support us, either in terms of clearing all our pending bills, in terms of resource allocation, and trying to allow us approve our request to attract resource mobilization from other stakeholders and donors, mainly.
You came at a time when, 3 years when the county government came into power, or it came into place. And I remember, there was tension between the Coast Development Authority, and not just the Coast Development Authority, but even the other regional development authorities. And many governors were questioning the relevance and the importance of regional development agencies in the devolution way of life. How did you manage to ease the tension that was there between the county government of where you operate in and CDA?
It's true. By the time we had gone into the new devolution, many thoughts came about. But when I took over, we decided to network with the sitting governors. And one thing we decided to explain to them is that we have very specific role. The role being a basin-based approach to development. And that was our role. And when it comes to a basin, we were able to explain to them that a basin cuts across several counties. And such interventions was when we came up with the Mache Dam, which we were supposed to conserve the natural resource in terms of water, that was even supposed to provide water to the neighboring counties. Then we were able to just explain to them. I must also say, with the advent of devolution, many of our staff also had to leave CDA, especially the chief managers, and they joined the county government. Of course, it happened because that time the institution was facing some challenges, as you rightly said. And we really were to address all this, and as I talk to you now, we have the rivers. Many of the teams that had left the institutions at that time to join other employer like the county government are now coming back because they have found that now we are really putting our programs in line with what we are supposed to do, and we are putting our employment in terms of our human resource approved structure. And more so, our programs are based on merits. Our promotions are based on merits. Our delivery services are based on merits.
You operate in 6 counties and also some parts of the lower side of Garissa County. Do you have a portfolio of worthy projects that you are undertaking in each county?
Yes, we do have a portfolio in each county. What we do is, by the time we are trying to put up our strategic plans, and that strategic plans is guided by our national government priority, then we also engage the county government so that they also align some of the activities they contain in their development plans into our strategic plan. Therefore, in many of the strategic plans we try to put in place, it has activities that involve all the counties we operate in.
You have been talking about Moache Dam more than any other project. Why is the Moache Dam very important to your organization?
Yes, I've been talking about Moache Dam because Moache Dam is the biggest flagship project that we emphasize to undertake as Coast Development Authority. And this Moache Dam was conceptualized by Coast Development Authority back as 1996. That is when we developed the first concept of Moache Dam. The idea was that come 20 years or 30 years later, these cities of Mombasa and Kilifi are going to grow. And one limitation we shall have is the water resource. As an institution, we had this vision, and that's why we came up with the Moache multipurpose dam. Thank God, 30 years later, we were able to do the feasibility of the project, and currently, as I talk, we are implementing Moache Dam with other partners, the lead partner being the Ministry of Water and Irrigation.
You're talking about a project that was conceptualized back in 1996, and we're talking about 28 years ago. When you look at the population of the area that you cover in 1996, it was 1/3 of what you have today. Is this project still relevant as it was conceptualized back?
If you hear me right, the word I used is that we had a vision, a project vision. And this vision was dependent on what will be our needs 20, 30 years to come. And that's how we said, depending on the growth of the population that we are going to have 20 years later, water is going to become scarce. And that is how we emphasize to undertake Moache Dam. Therefore, that problem of water was what we were supposed to address, and we were foreseeing this problem is going to appear 20, 30 years to come.
And now it is here.
And now it's here. And now it's here.
What do we need to do to accelerate the implementation of the Moache multi-purpose dam?
I must say that the Moache multi-purpose dam is under implementation now. We have got a good donor, the World Bank project, and the Ministry of Water is the key lead. And I think in the coming 3-4 years, we have already put everything in place, and the dam will be ready for use.
So what is CDA? Where are you involved in the implementation of Moache multi-purpose dam?
What you know is about dams is that after you construct dam, some challenges of siltation may occur, and this will reduce the volume of water that will be harnessed by the dam. Therefore, as an institution, we are undertaking the catchment conservation. The catchment conservation is of the Moache Basin requires a lot of protection. Protection in the sense that we avoid or hold back a lot of soil that will silt the dam we have already put this investment. Therefore, our purpose is to do a lot of catchment investigation, and this catchment restoration is going to avoid a lot of siltation that will occur on the dam. And that is the role we are undertaking now.
So you will not have a day-to-day running role in the Moache multipurpose dam?
Even the role we undertake is a day-to-day activity. Conserving the environment in which the dam is concentrated is one of its biggest requirements, because you have to take care of that environment. And that environmental mitigation plan is a continuous activity as long as that dam is going to be in use. Therefore, it's a continuous, in fact, I will even say the dam construction is just one-time activity. The people who have to stay with that dam and its environment are those who are supposed to take care of the catchment conservation. Therefore, my role at that dam is continuous from the time we have started to the rest of its life.
Apart from the delivery of the much needed water services to the coastal region, the Moache multipurpose dam is also supposed to help in the production of hydroelectricity. It's also supposed to help in the development of irrigation schemes, among other projects. Are there other projects that you have lined up as CDA once the project is complete?
The big project is the food security aspect of that dam. You are aware that we are placing the dam in a sub-county called Keinan. Keinan is in Kwale County. One of the biggest challenge in that sub-county is the drought. And drought causes food insecurity. As an institution, that dam is supposed to provide 186 cubic meters of water to the cities of Kilifi and Kwale. We have a lot of surplus of water that we require to irrigate the nearby land for food security. That is the role we are going to take in partnership with the county government of Kwale. Let's
now talk about the Malindi integrated project that you're undertaking in conjunction with the Italian government. Give us an overview of that project.
The Malindi Integrated Social and Health Development Project is a social economic project that is funded through the Italian government as a loan, concession loan to our government. It's a project which has a 3-year period. As I told you, after we restored our donor confidence, we were able to write several proposals to many donors, including the Italian Development Bank. And this is one such project that we were able to address. The project has 3 main goals. One is to address the health requirements of the communities around Malindi. That's primarily Malindi and the Magarini sub-constituency. We are also supposed to address some transport challenges. And finally, we are supposed to address the social aspects of education requirements of the community within Magarini. Therefore, this is a project we are undertaking as CDA. It's going to take us 3 years. It's a total funding of 393,000 euros funding level. And this is the project we are going to implement under the Malindi Integrated Project, Social Health Development Project.
Yeah, talking about 6.4 million euros, which is, well, if you round it off, which is almost $1 billion Kenya shillings. How are these projects going to be impactful to the societies that you operate in?
I must say, we as Coast Development Authority have implemented first phase of Malindi Integrated Social Development. And because of the impact, several needs were cropped up. And as a result of the successful implementation of the first phase, we were able to place a proposal for the second phase. And I am definitely sure, riding on the success of the phase one, then we are going to address the community needs in this phase two. And finally, this is going to be a very successful project that CDA is going to implement again, once again.
When you look at the counties that you operate in, and you look at the poverty levels, apart from Mombasa, all the counties that you operate in, the poverty levels are above the national average. And the national average, we are talking about 43%. And so this is a situation that requires a multi-sectoral approach to deal with. What linkages have you applied in working with other government institutions to address the issue of poverty in the coastal counties?
I know all our approaches, and all our approach towards development are guided by a lot of network, collaborations, and partnership with our relevant partners. These partners are both other government partners, may it be the county governments, other national partners, and the donors, all inclusive. Our approach to development is through collaboration and partnership. And we work as a team in all our interventions. Yes.
And you operate in, the total population of all the counties that you operate in is about 5 million. What needs to be done to accelerate a socio-economic project in the counties that you operate in?
The good thing is that we have a very elaborate government priority. And thank God, our current government addresses the grassroots need of the community. And that's why we had to come up with our better agendas that's able to address the need of the bottom person in the community. As I talk to you as CDA, we are trying to get the need from the community in terms of food security, in terms of the health need, in terms of the education need, and that is why we had to propose projects within our strategic plan that we are able to get funding either from the government or donors.
And when you look at your strategic plan, how does it align with the government agenda of bottom-up economic transformation agenda?
As I told you earlier, that we prepare our strategic plan in line with our government priorities. And as we do this, we also include the participation of our relevant partners. A good partner is the county government that we work with. We decide to develop our plans that feed into our better agenda. And this is primarily the same thing that our national development priorities guide us. And these are really focusing on the economies of the community that we work within. And that's how we develop our strategic plan, and that's how we align our development priorities in line with the government agenda.
When you look at the last 5 years, it has been an issue of reforming the institutions, re-engineering your operations. What will be the face of Coast Development Authority in the next 5 years?
I must say, in the last 7 years, we had a lot of very, very positive growth. And I will definitely say, come in new leadership is going to ride on our achievements that will make CDA grow to higher heights. I'm not doubtful that should the next leadership just ride on what we had put in place, then we are able to move to greater heights. Definitely, I'm very definite about that.
And when you look at the Coast Development Authority in the next 10 years, where do you see it in the socio-economic order of this country?
And this one, I will say it without any contradiction, that Coast Development Authority will be the biggest pillar that supports the social development growth of the communities within the coastal region and the part of the northern area that we cover. Therefore, it's going to be the biggest pillar. And I must say that because we have the relevant drivers of these socio-economic pillars. And I will tell you, we have the relevant drivers because we have the relevant expertise that are engaged with CDA now, that are working for CDA. I'm speaking about close to 6 expertise with different doctorate levels that are driving priorities of this region. Therefore, we are really speaking about being the pillar of the socio-economic requirement of this region.
As we come to the end of this conversation, I also want you to tell us what kind of a partnership approach have you cultivated with other players within your space?
I really repeat this very well, that upon my leadership, how I embraced my activity was to institutionalize. And this is the key word that was driving me. I institutionalized all my activities in the sense that we really valued collaboration and partnership of all our stakeholders. And I'm speaking about all stakeholders. These are stakeholders of other government departments, stakeholders of other donors, and stakeholders from even county governments of where we are working. Therefore, we really value the partnership and collaboration, and that is how we work as a team. I must also say that we had a lot of achievements that encouraged even other stakeholders to come and bring their programs through us. And that is why we had gone to a level of trying to be where we were and even put ourselves to a level of a continental level. And I will at this level tell you that in several years, our achievements in terms of innovations were recognized at the continental level. And I will even illustrate. As we sit here, these are trophies of recognitions that we attained in the last few years at the African level, African Union level. We speak about this one that we were awarded in 2022.
That's 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Mm-hmm. When my institution innovated what is called the e-project monitoring and evaluation. These are tools that we innovated after the outbreak of COVID. You remember when we had the COVID outbreak, all our counties were locked down. You cannot move to Mombasa, you cannot move to Kilifi, you cannot move to Taita Taveta, and even Garissa. You cannot move in and out. This made us to think outside the box. While we had programs running outside, then the movements were curtailed. And as an institution, we were able to come up with innovations which can make us monitor our projects through remote based innovation. And when we presented this innovation to the AU, African Union Public Service Week, we were awarded to be the 3rd position for this innovation. Come last year, because of that motivation my team had, we were able to come up with further innovations, and this time was on mangrove, how to do mangrove. And we presented this innovation in Zimbabwe at the African Union Public Service Week, and we were ranked the best managed organization. This was in June 2023. So I must say,
by the African Union.
African Union Award. So I must say, from where we were, we are now going to a very high level of continental competition that makes CDA to reach that level of now expertise. Thank you very much. Yes.
Anything else?
Finally, I must say that please, I want you to always visit the institution activities which are spread throughout our region of operation, so that you can also appreciate what I'm saying in this interview.
Very good. Dr. Keinan, thank you very much indeed for finding time to be with us, and of course for sharing with us the story of Coast Development Authority. Your time is highly appreciated.
Thank you very much.
Very good. Well, we have been talking to Dr. Mohamed Keinan, the Managing Director of Coast Development Authority. He's been giving us the history, the past, and the future of the Coast Development Authority. My name is O'Brien Keinan. You have been watching Inside Government. Thank you for your time. Have a good afternoon.